Welcome to the Big Match Revisited, a chance to look back at the way football was televised 4 decades ago. This edition was shown in January 1977, when James Callaghan was the Prime Minister and punk rock was making waves in the UK. It's pure football nostalgia, with host and commentator Brian Moore.
Welcome again to the Big Match, and after the Elton John extravaganza of our Christmas show, you're saddled with me again, I'm afraid, but at least we are back to a more orthodox programme, and one that I think has got all the excitement that you can want to take you into the new year. There's Spurs against West Ham, a London derby of critical importance. There's Liverpool against Sunderland, top v bottom, and there's goals all the way as Norwich City face Leicester City. But first, the worrying sight for London of the foot of the First Division as it appeared yesterday morning. QPR's match at Derby was off. You need only a glance to understand the importance of this game to Spurs and West Ham as they search for salvation points at White Hart Lane. A White Hart Lane, cold and watery. The Tottenham pitch, though, in magnificent condition, really considering the bad weather. And this is the Tottenham side. Jennings in goal. Pratt, who comes in for Willie Young, who's suspended after being sent off against Arsenal. Osgood, Naylor and Gorman. Hoddle, Perryman and Coates. Taylor, Duncan and Conn, with Jones the sub. And making up for lost time after several months of injury, the Spurs striker John Duncan, adding useful firepower to his side. This then is the West Ham side, unchanged after 5 points out of 8. Day in goal, Lampard, Green, Taylor and Locke, Bonds, Brooking and Brian Robson, Jennings, Radford and Keith Robson, and Otto Lukowski, the substitute. And the newcomer here, of course, is John Radford, signed just before Christmas from Arsenal. The referee at White Hart Lane is Ken Burns of Stourbridge, a sub himself. He only heard of his appointment 24 hours earlier. And the crowd, 45,000 umbrellas.
So away we go. West Ham attacking the goal to our right in their claret and blue shirts and white shorts. Spurs in white with black shorts. A really critical local derby here, with the Spurs 20th and West Ham 21st. And Peter Taylor trying to take up the running for Tottenham. West Ham maybe have just a little more to be thankful for at the moment. 5 points out of the last 8, with victories over Manchester United and Liverpool, and a draw against Birmingham away. Spurs with only 2 wins in their last 15 games. Here's Taylor again, but beaten nicely by Keith Robson. Played forward by Locke towards Billy Jennings, and a free kick to Tottenham, to West Ham rather. So Kevin Locke. Radford made a good run there. Great old enemy of Tottenham over the years, of course, when he was an Arsenal player. Peter Taylor. I think in the first few minutes we might well find that there are a few nerves that need to be calmed. Pratt playing that forward, and the ball skidding away there, away from Alfie Conn and Billy Bonds, and a goal kick to West Ham. Here's Lampard. Right foot towards Radford, breasted down beautifully there for Billy Jennings. Nice understanding here as Jennings tries to get Radford away again, but Keith Osgood right in there, skimming away on that wet surface. And a throw to West Ham. Brooking. Perryman in very hard. I would have thought unfairly from behind. Free kick, yes. But a shake of the hands. A free kick to West Ham. Bill Green's come up on the far side, that tall figure. And Radford leading all the way. Goal to West Ham. To Brooking as he glided that free kick in. Spurs all over the place. Did Radford get the touch there? Back of the net, and West Ham leading by a goal to 0 with 2.5 minutes gone. Spurs 0, West Ham 1, and the appearances were such that it seemed that West Ham players were giving that goal to Trevor Brooking. So Spurs getting a quick setback there, And indeed, they badly need, I mean, it's a silly thing to say maybe that they need 2 points badly. Of course they do, and so do West Ham. But Spurs the more so, since their next 4 games are all away. One of them a cup tie at Cardiff, but 3 league games at Everton and at Newcastle and at Queen's Park Rangers. So, Tommy Taylor in a bit of trouble. Bonds beaten by Con, but Brian Robson was back there to support his captain, and here's Bill Green back to Mervyn Day. Tottenham's throw, Keith Osgood. Coates. Oh, he's given that away to Billy Jennings. Now, will Jennings make that number 2? Well, in fact, it was Pat Jennings who stopped him. But a silly mistake there by Ralph Coates. Giving the ball away, Billy Jennings snapped onto it, and Pat Jennings stopped it with his knees. Certainly every time West Ham bring big men forward like Bill Green, Billy Bonds and Tommy Taylor for corners, Spurs might get caught out in the air. Well, Billy Bonds caught out Alfie Conn there, not to the liking of referee Ken Burns. I think Ken Burns is saying, look, I've noticed you've had a couple of goes at that already, and I think he wasn't far from bringing out the yellow card then. But Alfie Conn takes a fair battering most Saturdays of the season, and there he is. That's a little too high for him, and Billy Bonds looking at Mervyn Day as much as to say, for goodness sake, it's you who should call. So Bonds has conceded a corner, and Coates is going to take it. And they're all racing in, and West Ham flick it away now for Tommy Taylor. A flick on now for Brian Robson. Booking. So many things stem from him, but not on this occasion. He slipped as he made that pass, and it's fallen instead for Osborne. Now for Coates. Con has gone up, Duncan is up there, Peter Taylor is up there. A beautiful cross in there, and that time Bill Green got his foot to it. It might have gone anywhere, but in fact he made the right sort of contact. Coates for the throw. Now Hoddle. Here's Duncan. Hoddle again. Made a little bit more pace there, and a tremendous shot, and it was Billy Bonds who dived in right at the last there when it looked as though Spurs might have got an opening. Lovely piece of play by Hoddle though. Now Taylor. And again Billy Bonds gets in at the expense of a corner once more. And again, Spurs are putting West Ham under pressure. West Ham still leading by a goal to 0. Here's Taylor with that corner. Oh, and Pratt almost got in with a header, and somehow West Ham got it away again. Lovely curling corner again from Taylor. And Pratt very nearly got it there with a header that counted. Billy Jennings, yes, a free kick. Oh, by Terry Naylor after Robson had put him through, and the yellow card coming out for Terry Naylor. And Terry Naylor, I don't know whether he is aware of it or not, now he is. He's got to go back all of 20 or 30 yards to referee Ken Burns. And that challenge there on Billy Jennings. So Tommy Taylor right up. Kevin Locke with the free kick for West Ham. And it's floated towards Taylor. Optimistically calling for a corner, but referee Ken Burns has given the goal kick to Tottenham. It's a good start to the new year so far for the West Ham manager, John Lyall, second from the right there. Anton Otulakowski, the substitute, next to him on the left as we look. Helping it on its way, but again West Ham getting it away. The long and optimistic kick there by Gorman. yet to score for his new club since he came down from Carlisle. Both he and Bill Green, of course, last season playing for Carlisle United, both coming to London clubs. John Gorman of Tottenham, the number 3, and Bill Green, the number 4 of West Ham. Oh, that's a long kick back, and it wasn't more than a yard wide. I think it was Billy Bonds who in fact got that long kick back towards Mervyn Day, and Day was away out of his goal, and he was in trouble until it went just a yard wide. So another corner for Tottenham. And West Ham with everybody back. Coates with it. A long one again. Duncan couldn't get the header in again. Perryman knocking it sideways here for Hoddle. Here's Naylor. Hit in again. Lampard away this time. But in moments of stress, West Ham unashamedly bringing everybody back. But the onus is on Tottenham, and there's Perryman trying to make a good run, but again Bill Green was there for West Ham. Brooking versus Conn. A good advantage played by referee Ken Burns. The game warming up again as it finds Brooking. Radford. Jennings. And Billy Bonds. Well, he gave that one away as well. Duncan sending Peter Taylor on. A chance now for Tottenham. And Duncan, oh no, he hit it right into the side netting to Taylor. Duncan had gone roaring into the middle, looking for something to come back his way. Taylor decided on the shot. And the shot went into the side netting. Jennings. Lampard. Linesman flagging. A foul by John Gorman on Billy Jennings. It's a free kick to West Ham. Radford and Keith Robson poised on the far side. Frank Lampard's going to take it. And he's hit it towards Radford. In fact, he was out-jumped by Osgood. Here's Peter Taylor. Lock forcing him to go a little wider than maybe he wanted to, but he still got it in well there towards Duncan. And Billy Bonds hacking it away out of the mud in that West Ham penalty area. And an offside given against Billy Jennings, and fury from Terry Naylor, who felt that the game should have been allowed to go on with Spurs in possession. Well, that was a terrible, yes, yellow card. And really, Frank Lampard has no complaints. A blatant piece of body checking and obstruction there by Frank Lampard on Ralph Coates. And that's why the yellow card was given. Coates with the free kick then for Tottenham. Keith Robson's header away. Billy Jennings guiding the header to Brooking. Tottenham's throw again. Certainly fought back well, Tottenham. Badly need a goal to lift their confidence. Billy Bonds to Billy Jennings. Naylor finding John Pratt on the far side. Locke cutting that out without a great deal of difficulty, except that he didn't control it quite well enough. And here's Hoddle now taking it up for Tottenham. Pratt on the far side, virtually playing as an old-fashioned right back. Peter Taylor turning it in once more. Conn trying a little jink, and Green got it away to Brooking. Locke all the way back. It was dangerous, was Conn was there. Lampard. Tommy Taylor. Radford. Brian Robson to Kevin Locke. Chipped forward there, beautifully there by Locke for Brooking, but he couldn't turn it in, although he's got a corner. Off Perryman. Lovely little chip by Kevin Locke. And with 6 minutes to go to half-time, Billy Bonds up in that Spurs penalty area. A second goal for West Ham now would be so welcome for them. Radford almost a free header, and Pat Jennings right down there at the post. Brooking again, curling in a header, a corner rather. Again, Radford's header, because there are really no big men in that Spurs defence at the moment, and Jennings getting down well to save. And here's Hoddle. Pond's gone on the run. And there's Billy Bonds now stretching his leg to try and repair that bit of damage. Conn slipping it in towards Ralph Coates, and he couldn't quite get there for Tottenham. Taylor versus Robson. Well, it was shoulder to shoulder, it seemed to be. Robson now gets the yellow card for kicking that ball away. So it's Naylor. Referee not happy that he's put his book and pencil away yet. We're in injury time at the end of the first half now as Naylor flings another free kick in for Tottenham. Oh, it's blowing gale force winds here at the moment with the rain. And Kevin Locke beaten by Peter Taylor this time. There's Taylor with the cross and Billy Bonds with the header away again, but it's another corner in these dying seconds of the first half. To Tottenham Hotspur. So little time for them now to take it. A long, long cross from Taylor. The fists of Mervyn Day, because he couldn't bear to think that he would catch it and maybe drop it. And the whistle going for half-time, with West Ham going that goal up right at the start of the game through Trevor Brooking. I think we must give it to him. And Spurs coming tumbling back at West Ham in search of an equaliser that they never quite found. But I think we can promise you a lot of fireworks in the second half in this important local derby at the bottom of the First Division. And a half-time score at White Hart Lane in the rain that says Spurs 0, West Ham 1. We'll be right back with you. So as we welcome you back to White Hart Lane, two things to tell you. One is that this lad, Anton Otulakowski, is on for West Ham in place of John Radford, who's got some slight hamstring trouble. He's the lad, Otulakowski, they bought from Barnsley. And the second one is that the West Ham players have confirmed that they have given the goal to Trevor Brooking, that in fact John Radford did not get a touch. So Brooking the scorer of the only goal of the game so far. Throw then to West Ham, which Brooking will take. Here's Keith Robson. Brooking to Keith Robson. Brooking again, trying to find his way through. Billy Jennings. Robson again, Brooking, whistle had gone, an offside by Trevor Brooking. Gorman, that round-shouldered, bustling run of his, finding Coates. It's a nice touch if Conn can get there, but Billy Bonds really have defended well so far, West Ham. Bonds and Green in particular, and Locke, who's done a good marking job on Taylor. Perryman, Coates, crossed in again, this time Bill Green was the first to react to it, finding Keith Robson, but he's given it away to Hoddle. Coates. Crossed in again, and that went through Brooking. Tulakowski stole a nice little dummy there on John Pratt. He's got Keith Robson right up there. The ball played for Robson, but Osgood went sliding in there. A throw to West Ham. Robson. Corner to West Ham. So John Gorman. And Trevor Brooking. And here's the corner, swinging in again towards Bill Green. Robson trying to make something to Keith Robson, hitting it first time, but straight against Gorman. Tulakowski lost his touch there. And here's Hoddle now for Tottenham. Con on a tremendous run, and Billy Bonds going with him. Con going all the way, linesman flagging, penalty. That's going to be a penalty. The referee's going across to the linesman, but the linesman had his arm across his chest. The linesman definitely had his arm across his chest, and it's going to be a penalty. Well, 2 West Ham players, 3 West Ham players are around the linesman. Day, Locke and Bonds, and to me that was a very harsh decision indeed. That's the incident. That seemed a harsh one to me. There was a bit of pulling there, I suppose, but a corner, or rather a penalty given, and Osgood, who's got 5 penalties out of his 6 goals this season, will never face a kit that is more important now than it is for Tottenham. A chance to go back on level terms, and that's where they are. If looks could kill, the linesman on this side of the field would be dead, but there's no doubt about it, when Keith Osgood hits those penalties, they stay hit, and Day had no chance at all. Decision, because Ken Burns went across and had a word with him. And now we stand at 1-1. Brian Robson. Good long pass there to Keith Robson. Nice touch now for Trevor Brooking. Got Peter Taylor coming up hard at him. That's not a bad little cross, but he just cannoned off a Tottenham player and fell behind Billy Jennings for Gorman. Game beautifully balanced now. Coates. Hoddle. Still Hoddle. Oh, he's gone a long way. But he couldn't quite pull it back. Green was there, even though he gave away the corner. Coates with the corner. Osgood lying deep. I wonder if he's going to make another of those long runs of his. Closely, Pratt's made the run, and Keith Robson got the header away. Alfie Conn with the shot. Oh, and a very good save indeed by Mervyn Day. As that came out, Conn, probably for the first time in the game, had a clear sight on goal, hit it well. Day flung himself and turned it round for the corner. Taylor again with the corner. Oh, and he was kicked off the line that time by Kevin Locke. That corner skimming all the way through again. And it was Locke who got it off the line for West Ham. So Taylor with another of these tantalising corners, a deeper one this time. And Brian Robson there to get a good header away with a lot of height to it. Now it's Brooking. Flicked on for Billy Jennings. Terry Naylor and Spurs defenders coming back quickly. Jennings has lost the way. He's tried hard, Billy Jennings, but it's the one area so far in this game where West Ham have been a little bit wanting. Defended well, just as Billy Bonds got in there, and again, but that time that's a goal kick. West Ham have looked very good in defence, working very well for each other, and Spurs, for their part, have shown a very keen competitive spirit too. Brooking, another ball for Brian Robson. That's going to be Terry Naylor's ball. Corn, a nice touch there for John Duncan. He's hit it well, and that's goal by Duncan. Well, he's a sure-footed striker, John Duncan, out for so long with injury, and just look now as that ball, he gets it onto the left foot and puts it wide of Mervyn Day. 2-1 to Tottenham. Duncan. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that too. That was a lovely piece of play by Duncan. Squirming and tricking his way around those West Ham defenders. A shot straight at Mervyn Day in the end. Keith Robson pouncing on that one. But Spurs are not going to let this lead go lightly. Lampard, Tommy Taylor, Billy Bonds, he's got to pump it forward now in these last seconds. Lampard was there, Otulakowski missed his kick. Billy Bonds again, to Tommy Taylor once again. There's another long cross going in. Robson couldn't do anything with the header. Otulakowski again. Referee looking at his watch, and it's all over. It's 2 points for Tottenham with those 2 goals in the second half. The winner coming from John Duncan. With Spurs coming back so well in that second half, Keith Osgood scoring from the penalty spot, and it was that penalty that really was the turning point of the whole game, after West Ham had played and defended so well for so long, and Trevor Brooking had given them the lead with only 2 minutes of the game gone. A good derby game, and a precious 2 points then for Tottenham Hotspur. A final scoreline at White Hart Lane that reads Spurs 2, West Ham United 1.
So 2 points for Spurs, but a question for everyone. Was it really a penalty? Certainly there were fierce arguments about it afterwards, and there was no doubt that it was the turning point of the whole afternoon. In a moment, we shall have a close look at it. But first, a word with the Spurs match winner, John Duncan. I suggested to him that it was a good way for a Scot to celebrate the new year.
Missed the celebrations last night with the game today, but I definitely made up for it, the victory today.
Is that sad news, missing celebrations on that particular day?
No, it's quite normal. In Scotland there's a game on New Year's Day every year, and I've missed the Hogmanay for many years now. So,
poor old Scott.
Make up for it tonight.
Yeah. It wasn't a bad performance by both sides, I thought, today, John.
I thought it was a very good game from a spectator's point of view. Both teams, I thought, played very well. I think we just deserved to win.
Yeah.
On play, I think we just deserved it.
Why do you say that in particular? Because you didn't make that many chances, did you?
No, I just think territorially we had more of it. We were attacking more than they were.
Because they got off to such a good start, and it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to have a look to see just how that goal of Trevor Brookings went in.
Yeah, it was a bit unfortunate from our point of view. The free kick just went directly in and nobody touched it.
John Radford went diving in, but I think probably that may have put 1 or 2 people off.
Yeah, I think we thought he was going to get a touch on it and he didn't, and it rolled in the corner.
But I think the turning point was still the penalty, wasn't it, which West Ham hotly disputed.
Yeah, that was... They were defending very well until then. We got the goal and they lost a bit of their confidence, and we capitalised on it after the penalty.
What did you feel about the penalty?
I was deep. I had been back for a corner and it had gone straight up the field off the corner, so I didn't get a close view of it. The players in the dressing room said that Alfie did get pulled back, so it probably looked a bit softish, but I think probably it was a penalty.
And Keith Osgood doesn't mess about with penalties, does he?
Oh no, he's the man to take them all right.
And then, as you say, that unsettled them a little bit.
Yeah.
And then how did your chance come?
It was a long ball from Pat. I think I went up for it. I think it was Green that was challenging. Bill Green challenged with me. I got a touch on it. Alfie knocked it back into me and I hit it first time. I wheeled round and hit it first time.
It was a good one to get at that particular time. You've had such a bad start to the season yourself with injury.
Yeah, well, I've only played, that's my 5th game this season. I've had a back injury, which it's okay now. Yeah, I don't score many like that. They're a bit far out for me. Mine are all in a bit.
Because you've got a fairly tough programme ahead now. I think it's 4 successive away games, one of them in the Cup next week against Cardiff, and you play Everton away on Monday.
On paper it doesn't sound very great, but last year we had a great home record. This year we're not so good, but we'll be hoping to pick up a few points out of these games.
Well, John Duncan of Tottenham, but what about that Spurs penalty? You heard John say that he thought that the Spurs players felt that Billy Bonds had pulled back Alfie Conn, but that it may have been a bit softish. I think it's probably our duty to have a closer look at that incident that really was the turning point of the whole afternoon. A beautiful ball played here by Glenn Hoddle. Now, does the first serious contact happen outside the box? Billy Bonds on the left there. A little grab there at Alfie Conn, but that was outside the box. Now, once he's inside, does he grab at all? I must say, my impression looking at that again in slow motion, I've looked at it several times, is that he didn't. But let's have another look at it. If you're pulling a player back, surely you've got your fist clenched. Look at Bonds. His right hand there is open. Referees, I don't think that was a penalty, you know. And referees are always telling me that you can't have a harsh penalty. It's either a penalty or it isn't. My view is that that wasn't a penalty, or if it was, I think referees would give about 20 or 30 during the course of a game for incidents similar to that one. Well, our second match today takes in the top and bottom of the First Division, as Liverpool, the team at the top, take on Sunderland, the team right at the bottom. That's at Anfield. The crowd was 44,000 strong. The pictures come from Granada Television, and Liverpool are in the all-dark strip.
Thompson finding Jones. McDermott. And a throw to Sunderland. Tommy Gibb to take it. Header by Jones. Holton, the loose ball flicked away by McDermott to Neil. Callaghan immediately moving wide of him. This is Toshak. Ashurst pushing him out towards the line. And he'll use Callaghan, who'd gone for that very purpose. And a beautiful cross for Kennedy. So when Toshak was forced wide, Ian Callaghan was there to help him to play yet another of those so precise crosses. It dropped beautifully onto the head of Ray Kennedy, and that's his 6th goal of the season. Very long from Clements. It's driven wide for Greenwood. Greenwood with Hughes. Cross was good and met by Roll and turned over well by Clements. Gary Roll did well then. Started that move somewhere around about the halfway line with a fine long ball for Greenwood, and Greenwood's cross came curling over, and who was there to meet it but Roll and bring a good save out of Ray Clements. Now here's Toshak. And Highway. Johnson and McDermott in the middle. Came back off Holton. Callaghan to try again. This time deep towards Johnson. Toshak in there hunting, but he couldn't get round Holton, and Siddall has the ball. Ashurst. Now Henderson. Bold run, and the fullback a good shot too, and Clements was lucky. Good shot from Henderson.
carried the ball something like 30 yards, found room for his left foot, and when Clemens beat down the shot, he was lucky that it didn't fall to Brown, who was following through. Ashurst. Won by Kennedy. Looks up and sees no one in the middle, so has to go himself, and in fact goes full length over Ashurst's toe. Kennedy to take the kick. Header by Toshak. That was a good one. Dummy run into the box by Thompson, but the free kick by Kennedy played low and short for Toshak's diving header, just wide. Jones going forward. Callaghan chip, meant for Kennedy, met by Holton, corner. Jones has gone up onto the line. Thompson was number 4. This is Highway with the kick. Curling in. Header by Ashurst. Will be collected by McDermott. And planted back across. And it's in! Thompson has got it! So the first one cleared by Ashurst, collected by McDermott, and when he turned it across, although Siddall came out to beat it away, Thompson was there to put the ball in for his second goal of the season, and indeed his second of the week. Harry Clements making absolutely certain the two men are covering his near post, making sure that someone's picking up train, and over it comes, and back off the bar from Brown. Well, the defensive cover didn't work there. They were too concerned with the men near the ball, and the orthodox cross came over. Brown met it well, and what looked like being his first league goal came back off the bar.
And indeed, that 2-0 win gives Liverpool a 4-point lead at the top of the First Division, though the second club, Ipswich, as you can see, have 4 games in hand, and at the bottom, Sunderland in terrible trouble now. West Ham likewise. It's distressing for West Ham to see that they've played 2 games more than Bristol City, or Queen's Park Rangers now 4 off the bottom. Spurs trying to claw their way out of the danger area. It's all getting very interesting indeed. And certainly our popular penalty prize competition is also getting to the interesting stage as youngsters all over the country seek one of the half-dozen places in the final at Wembley on the day of the League Cup final, March the 12th. Yesterday at Tottenham we had the London area final when Paul Waits of Hertfordshire, Richard Smith of Inner London, Trevor Luke of Kent, Tony Moore of Middlesex and James Bolton of Surrey were there to compete. The winner was this lad here, 13-year-old Paul Waits of Hertfordshire, against Barry Daines, the Spurs reserve goalkeeper.
Shooting. Oh, good penalty taking there from Paul Waits, who goes into the lead with 5 out of 6. Well done, Paul.
Yes, well done, Paul, who comes from Watford, as you can see, takes a step nearer Wembley. Well, our third game today had its full share of goals as Norwich City met Leicester City at Carrow Road. 2 sides who are really getting a reputation for some attractive and attacking football, and so it was yesterday. The pictures come from Anglia Television. The commentator's Jerry Harrison. Norwich are in the lighter shirts.
Ryan against Alderson. 2 and Alderson's out of the race. Touched back by Sims. In goes Maitland. Boyer now. Here comes Boyer again. And he wriggled past his man there. The angle not quite right, and zipping across the face of the goal with the goalkeeper Wellington jaw right on his chest. And that should have been really first blood for Norwich City with 3 minutes gone. Up goes David Jones. Here's Steve Whitworth to Kemba, the aggressive man in midfield for Leicester. And a bit of aggression there by Sullivan, but it's Blockley now. Another space for Whitworth. Weller on his right, Worthington and Earl up front. And whistle had gone there for offside against Steve Earl. That's Len Bartels from Westcliff-on-Sea. Ryan looking for Busby, but that's Jeff Blockley. Alderson and Samuels. Kemba. Dennis Rowe. Time for Ryan. Peters. Neighbour, in goes Rowe, and he's beaten. And that's Steele with Neighbour on his right. 2 against 1 now as they go to Blockley. Neighbour's cross. Oh, and there it is. Viv Busby. And Busby does it again. A brilliant start for Norwich. Only 4 minutes gone, and the break worked down here. First of all, when Dennis Rowe was beaten, and then when Steele and Neighbour set off, Blockley was bypassed. The cross came over, deflected off a defender, straight to Busby, 4 yards into the back of the net. John Samuels. Great ball to Whitworth. This is for Weller, and the return. Machin tries to stay with him. There's the cross though, and Alderson comes in, a great effort. Terrific move there from Leicester City. Starting from this side of the field in their own half, the long ball from Samuels, the give and go up there on the right, with Whitworth and Weller involved in it. A good cross, and the volley just over the top. Weller and Whitworth is free on the right, but that's a great ball on the left to Worthington. Powell going over to try and keep him out, and does so well. Because Worthington is particularly happy on the left-hand side. So that was a valuable tackle there by Tony Powell. But it's a corner. Sims and Blockley will be there again, no doubt. Up goes Sims. Didn't get it. Samuels and Whitworth on the right. There's Kemba. Boyer bypassed, and on the left finds Alderson with a great ball. Sullivan slips. Alderson's cross, and now Samuels is there. And they deserve that. 1-1, and that's John Samuels' first of the season. And he's had to wait a long time for that. And it came from the great pass by Whitworth to Alderson. Sullivan slipped, so he's able to get the cross in. It was knocked back, and Samuels thrashed it in. 1-1, and that's 10 minutes before half-time. Jones stays up. 6 Norwich City players in that penalty area, but thrown to one outside it. Ryan against Alderson, is past him. And here it comes now to... Viv Busby strikes again. And once more, that was a good penetrating run. And this time by fullback John Ryan. So 2 ex-Luton players there, really working the trick between them. Ryan getting in, driving one across. It's knocked back to Busby, and he in there like an alligator. 2-1, and that just 2 minutes after Leicester City had drawn them. So Busby really snapping up those half chances 5 or 6 yards from goal. And that's Keelan cutting that one out. And that's woken up this January the 1st crowd. They hadn't had too much to shout about in the last half an hour. Steve-O. And Weller's passed the challenge to Sullivan. That's a great bit of judgment. Now here comes Alderson, but Worthington takes it off him. And Ryan, fortunately, gets the bounce off the back of Puck. Neighbour, but straight to Blockley. Powell cutting out again. Throw then to Leicester. In goes Earl, a great play by Frank Worthington, and he's got it straight in off the goalkeeper from very close to the goal line. So that's 3 goals we've had in 4 minutes. Steve Earl, the man, but really that was one for him by the clever flick by Frank Worthington. It looked as if the cross was going to be pulled back. Certainly that's what goalkeeper Keelan thought. He's off his near post and ricocheting off him into the back of the net. 2-2. Steve Earl's 4th of the season. Well, for 2 sides who find the goal scoring a little bit difficult, they're certainly doing something to change that pattern in this game. Neighbour against the roof, and he beats him. Now he's got a chance to cross over with 4 men in the area waiting for it. There's Busby. No. A corner given. Most of the Norwich players reckon that was over the line, but Mr. Bune was there. The linesman is right up over the far side. He didn't flag, so the corner is given. Neighbour comes back. Kick was robbed, but fouled as well. Busby and Boyer, the front men. Peters just behind them, but powerfully cleared. Both sides finding it difficult to string it together. Ryan. That's past Alderson. And another. And a good ball. Must be an opening here for Billy Steele. Well, I don't know, from that angle, I know Earl got one in. One wonders if he should have pulled that one back. But that was a cracking run by John Ryan. Past 2 defenders, the penetrating pass, and a fine position for Billy Steele. Jones just got a touch. Boyer is fouled according to the linesman, and Norwich will have a free kick. Linesman's flag went up, then the whistle went, and here's Suggett. Machin right over the far post. Neighbour, and here's Busby. It's a hat-trick, and they're flat out. Leicester City looked if they were going to get a point as the game died a horrible death. And then to make it come alive in the best possible way, Viv Busby. And that was beautifully rescued when the cross was deflected by Jimmy Neighbour. And he did the spade work, but Busby put it in. And that's a hat-trick and his 7th goal in 7 games for Norwich City.
And that's a 3-2 win for Norwich as well, with Viv Busby and Jimmy Neighbour obviously settling down very well in East Anglia, the former Fulham and Spurs players. Next week, both in On the Ball in World of Sport on Saturday lunchtime, of course, and on the big match next Sunday afternoon. It's a special FA Cup tie edition for you to enjoy. I always think with these third-round games that it's the real charm of the competition when the big uns meet the little uns, like Wimbledon against Middlesbrough, of course, Liverpool against Crystal Palace, Queen's Park Rangers have got a home game against 3rd Division Shrewsbury, Manchester United against Walsall. Really is the most exciting day of the whole season, I think, and we'll have 3 smashing cup ties for you on the big match next Sunday afternoon. Certainly hope the weather's better for all of us. It could hardly have been worse at Tottenham yesterday. Not that Spurs and John Duncan would have had anything at all to complain about.
Corn, a nice touch there for John Duncan. He's hit it well, and